Where should DJs be online in 2025? My top 3 platforms that actually work are what I'm going to talk about in this episode of the podcast. If you're a bedroom DJ or a club DJ wondering where to focus your energy online and trying to be everywhere, then this episode is for you. Most DJs aren't just competing for gigs nowadays, they're competing for attention. And where you show up online can either build your brand or burn you out. Now, trust me, I've tested all the social media platforms. And in this week's podcast, I'm going to highlight the 3 that I suggest that you focus your time on. So remember to subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify. And let's jump straight into this week's episode. Okay, the first platform we're going to talk about is Instagram. Now, for me, this is still one of the best platforms because there's so many parts to it. You've got your stories, your reel, your feed, the highlights. There's just so many areas to it. It's great not just for showing your music or your personality, but everything else that you do behind the decks as well. And consistency is a really big part of showing up on social media. And this is why I love Instagram so much. It is basically your digital press kit. It just allows you to show so many different areas of what it is that you do. So let's take a closer look. I want to also switch to my Ray-Bans, Meta Ray-Bans, to show you this a bit better, okay? By the way, if you haven't tried out these Ray-Bans, I definitely suggest you give them a go, particularly if you're a content creator, or they're great even if you're a DJ because you can record videos of you behind the decks. So definitely check them out. But I want to show you a little bit closer now. So welcome to behind the scenes, behind the camera. This is my Instagram page on my iPad. And let's just quickly look at some of these bits. So first of all, this top part, this is the new notes section. This is a really useful little place just to put little notes and things. It's definitely used by a lot of the Gen Zs nowadays, but it's just a little feature up there that I like that. So if you've got a new track coming out, you could just post a little bit about it up there. This part here, remember as well, is searchable on Instagram. So if you want to be found as a house DJ, then you need to write that you are a house DJ in there. That way, when people are searching through a house DJ, your name will come up in that search. So really important, that part. Then you've got the section here, which is your main bio. Now, remember, you've only got, I think it's 175 characters for this part, so you need to be clever with it. But again, it's a really useful area to use if you've got an event coming up or if you've got a new track coming out. You can literally change this to just focus on your release or whatever it is that you're promoting that week. And you can change this as many times as you like. So that's why I really like this part as well on Instagram. Then you've got the famous link in bio section. So for me, you can have up to 5 links in here on Instagram. I just like having a couple of main ones. So my main page, which is SocialTap, we're going to go into this in another podcast episode as well, because I think SocialTap is brilliant. This is almost my website online for my social media. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I use all of this. So what it allows you to do is put links into all of my social media, so people can go here and click on any of these. But this is the brilliant part. This is where you can add links to your content, so people can just go straight in there. So whenever you post a link on your page, you just say to people, head to the link in my bio, and that's where they'll be taken. It's just a really great tool. I love that. That's why I think Instagram is so important, because there's so many different parts to it that you can use. We haven't even touched on the DM side of it, which again is a fantastic feature, which allows you to contact people directly and get that conversation going. So there you go. That's my first recommendation. Instagram, always been one of my favorites and still is. Next up is TikTok. Now this is basically discovery on steroids if you use it right. It's the best place for organic reach and fast exposure, especially for things like mashups, transitions and remixes. And you can also talk about being relatable and showing your face on there, hopping on sounds and sharing different things about different music that you like. I know a lot of DJs go on there and they'll do videos of them playing certain tracks. There's a guy that does a really great one of this, always deep house and stuff like that, and soulful deep house. And he'll just go on the microphone like this, talk about the track and then play it. You know, it's a really cool little way of doing it. And I've seen a lot more people doing this lately. I definitely would recommend as well that you jump on the odd trend now and again. That really does play an important part of things on TikTok. You don't necessarily have to do all of them. Just do the ones that you think are suited to you. Because remember, at the end of the day, you're also representing yourself as a brand. As a DJ, you are a brand and you need to stay on brand. If you go too far off to the right or the left, it's kind of going to obscure what it is that you're trying to get, the message that you're trying to get out to people. TikTok is definitely the bit of the Wild West as well. So have some fun with it. What I would definitely recommend that you do is have a look at what some of the other DJs are doing that you aspire to be like. There's some really great DJs around. Roger Sanchez does some great videos of him traveling to gigs or with his wife preparing for a gig, and there'll be videos of him walking backstage, coming onto the stage and things like that. And there'll be a great crowd shot. That's the kind of thing that you want to be sharing on TikTok especially. Remember to also engage with other people. It's not just about you creating your content. Social media is about building a relationship as well. So, you know, take the time to do that as well. There's some great places you can do that on TikTok. So really look at that. So that's the second one that I recommend that you definitely should be on as a DJ is TikTok. You can't get that much information in your bio at the top, but there's loads of other things that you can do. And like I said, just really have a good think about how you can use the platform. And trial and error is a big one I've found on TikTok. You'll start to realize what works for you and what doesn't. And obviously just double down on everything that works. Finally, number 3 is Facebook. The underdog of the community is definitely not dead. It's still huge, still one of the biggest social media platforms out there. And particularly if you're a DJ, it's great. You should have an artist page where you can put in your events and stuff like that. I definitely recommend that if you're a promoter, you always make sure that you're filling in the event information and that you invite people to the events. You can also then see the analytics of who attended your events, so you can go back and maybe message them for a future gig that you've got coming up. But it's a really great way to do it. There's also a lot of information that you can put in on Facebook about your About Me section and your bio and all of that. Make sure you're filling all of that in, because I know personally, when I've worked previously as an artist accreditation manager, I've been trying to find information out about DJs or trying to contact them. And I couldn't even find an email for some people. So make sure you've got all of your contact information in your bio on Facebook, on your artist page, so people can get in touch with you easily. And again, build a community, build a network, you know, ask questions, do polls, share behind the scenes content, share stories of why you started DJing and the music you love, the DJs that you aspire to be like. That kind of thing. It needs to be real. If you really want your social media to grow authentically, you have to be real. And there's also the great option of using groups as well. There's loads and loads of groups. Definitely would recommend jumping in a few of those that are for DJs and for music lovers. So definitely check them out as well. Again, if you play in a certain town all the time, that town will usually have a group as well, a Facebook group. So make sure you're a member of that group so you can share your upcoming gig news in that group as well. That's a great way to promote some of your stuff that's coming up. So for me, that wraps up the top 3 platforms that you definitely need to be on as a DJ, okay? Now, just keep remembering about your brand at the end of the day, making sure that you're sticking to your brand values, your brand colors, all of that kind of stuff. If you have those in place, you'll definitely notice a difference. And remember, you can only win on these platforms if you show up with clarity, consistency, and with your heart as well. So your action step for this week is just to double down and make sure that all of your bio is all in place on all of these platforms. You've got all of your contact information in there. Make sure that's all done across these 3 platforms, okay? If you've got any questions about any of these as well, just drop me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got or anything that you're not quite sure of right now. I can definitely help you with. And also remember my book, Amplify Your Brand. You can get this on Amazon right now, and there's loads of content in here which is going to help you build your brand and grow your brand on social media. Everything in here, from video advice to what you should be posting on social media as a DJ. It's all in there and it'll really help you, I promise you. Go and grab your copy now. I'll drop a link below the video so it's nice and easy for you to access as well. And then also I wanted to remind you about my retreat next year here in Spain in Estepona. I've booked an incredible retreat for 4 nights where you can come and hang with me. We're going to spend the whole time talking about all the things that you really, really need help with. So if you want help with mixing techniques and skills, then we can talk about that. If you want help with your Instagram, we can do that. If you want to get some push shots done, I can help you with that. There's loads of stuff that we're going to be going through. Plus, I'm going to be taking you out for dinner in Marbella and Estepona for 2 of the nights as well. It's just a brilliant opportunity for like-minded people to get together and really focus on growing. And that is what it's all about. It's about building this community of like-minded people that are willing to help each other and push each other on. So if you want to find out more about it, you can click the link below this video. But I'd love to see you joining me at this incredible villa next year here in Estepona, Spain. So I think that wraps up this episode. Again, thank you so much. Remember to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you on the next episode.